it started when I was a child. I didn't have a great relationship with my uncle, and he was a stand-up comedian, and he made me the butt of every joke. I don't know why they allowed 5-year-olds in that comedy club, but they did.
Cigarette butt.
I think just so he can make
cigarettes
jokes
out on my skin. He puts a cigarette butt burned, but you put out the cigarettes on my skin.
And there you have it, folks. That's how you open up a comedy podcast episode bit, mother frickin' Anyway, you're probably wondering why I decided to do that, other than to embarrass myself, because I love doing that. I love doing this so much. It's because I have a different mic today, because I forgot the same mic that David has
again.
So now I am using
twice in a row
this SM58
twice in a row
that you might recognize from such hits as most any concert you've ever been to. So there you go. The singer's on the singing mic and the talker's on the talking mic. And I figured, I'd mess things up one more time before we have to leave this house.
Yeah, welcome to the finale of this setup.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed your stay.
This is episode 41 of the Too Bad We Didn't Get Into Cars podcast. We kicked off season 3 last episode. And as always, my name is Nick Scarpin Auto.
David Kabushi Cars.
And we're ready to
stupid ass
blow your faces
Volkswagen Electric Vehicle 4.
Not sure what year, because it doesn't say a year.
It's the 4th one.
We want to think it's the 2022 vehicle because that's what its copyrighted is on the bottom of the car, but we're not sure. We're not professionals. We don't know anything about cars, except for this guy who works on cars almost every single day of his life.
Yes.
So he knows a little about cars.
Yeah.
And I know what they do. I know they get me from place to place. And I know they have at least 3 wheels.
You
haven't thought farther beyond that, but anyway, that's not what we get paid to be on this podcast to do. We get paid on this podcast to talk about our childhood favorite lines and movies and shows and video games, except for that first one, except for lines. We don't talk about our favorite lines on this podcast. We talk about everything else, everything that's not a car.
My favorite line is the perpendicular.
I've known you for 20 years of my life. I have never heard a better joke come out of your mouth than the one that just left your orifice now.
That's sad.
And it's not true. This guy's really funny. And I've heard him say funnier jokes. So don't believe me when I say stuff on this podcast. I'm lying for attention.
Man's always lying.
I'm going crazy, dude. I'm going absolutely crazy. I started playing Fallout 4 at your request, and it's been a long time coming. And I don't know what I'm doing, man. They give me too much freedom. I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
I'm losing it a little bit. I'm losing it. I lost my dog. I don't know where dog meat went. Dog meat, he probably as good as dead, for all I know. I run into the same houses over and over because I'm just bad at the game and I keep dying. It's like my personal Groundhog Day, but it's not fun. And Bill Murray is nowhere to be seen. It is fun though. It is fun. I do like sneaking around with my little sniper, and then walking into a room and hearing a guy go, "Huh, what's that?" And then I sneak around the corner and I shoot him, and then I go back downstairs and I wait for 5 minutes for everyone to think that I ran away.
Forget that it happened.
Yeah, and then I run back upstairs to shoot more guys. That's the Skyrim strategy that I took with the bow and arrow, and that's going to be my Fallout strategy with the snipers. I'm going to be a sniper kid as much as I want to be the rocket hammer guy. I just don't know. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I have it in me. So that's what I've been up to. That's what I've been up to lately, and watching the anime ReZero. If anyone has ever heard of ReZero, it's also about a guy who dies over and over again. But it's an anime, and there's a half elf girl, and two twin maids who are also demons, and a flying little cat named Puck, but he's not actually a cat. He's a spirit. He's an ice spirit, and I'm realizing that I probably sound crazier and crazier each new detail I add to the story, but I promise I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm just an anime fan. Put that on a t-shirt.
You know who is crazy? Apparently everyone at Nickelodeon, dude.
Oh my god. Don't even fight. I haven't watched the documentary yet, but I've seen enough clips, and I've seen enough clips of people talking about it, and I've seen the interview that Dan Schneider posted that I haven't watched the full interview, but shit's wild, man.
This is coming from me, who Drake and Josh is my favorite show of all time.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, man.
It's fucked up.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, I did not know. So, for those of you who don't know, there was a documentary that came out recently surrounding Nickelodeon and the years that it was producing shows with Dan Schneider, who I think created or co-created All That and The Amanda Show and Drake and Josh and iCarly and Victorious and all of these shows that we grew up with. And for years, there were rumors and Nick Stars that had hinted at the fact that Dan Schneider was a real fucking creep. And then that started circulating, and so people would post clips from those shows where they had the kids, like the children, do really weird stuff on camera, and then all of the pieces just kept coming together until I forget who or if there was someone who came out first, but eventually people were legit just coming, out with stories about Dan and the people at Nickelodeon. And now there's a whole documentary, and there are plenty of interviews where those same child stars speak out against the people who did terrible things to them, unspeakable things, and it's fucked up, and it makes me really sad to think about because obviously those shows were a big part of my childhood, as they were, for David and for a lot of other people our age and a lot of our friends, and so to know that kind of shit was happening behind the scenes, it makes me want to not watch those shows again. But I don't know, man. I haven't even watched the documentary, so I don't even know if it's going to get better or worse for me.
Yeah.
Have you watched it?
I've seen the Drake Bell episode.
Ugh.
And I skimmed through like the second to one because they were talking about All That for a while, and I never watched that shit.
All That was a little bit.
I just want to get to the stuff
time
that I watched.
Yeah. So.
So.
All That was a little before our time, but there were a lot of people who were on All That ended up being in those shows that we liked.
Yeah. So
yeah.
that's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. Moral of the story: just don't be a fucking weirdo. Just don't be a fucking weirdo who orders kids to do gross shit with their feet and writes sketches where you're telling kids to blow over and over again.
Yeah.
It's rough, dude.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's fucked up. How do we transition from this?
Well, we're talking about real life crazy people at Nickelodeon into fictional crazy people in the world of Jack Nicholson.
Right.
Because my favorite classic movie would probably be One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which is about crazy people.
Okay. Still, you know what? I think we made that landing as best we could.
No doubt. No doubt about it.
Yeah. So yeah, last week we started talking about classic movies. We're talking genre by genre, just specific genres of movies, and last week I talked about my favorite classic movie, which was Rocky. And so David, take it away, man. For those of you who don't know about this movie and or book, because it came from a book.
As did everything. Man, we probably came from books. The Story of Scarpinatos.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think I.
You ever read that one? You know the one?
Yeah, I think I saw it. I think I saw it around my house one day. And,
This is a goddamn movie from like 75, I think. And it's... Oh, yeah, we did read the book in high school. That's right. I remember. Because the book is in Chief's perspective.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So anyway, and Miss Shans had a poster of the movie in the classroom. That was pretty cool. So I don't know when I watched this movie for the first time. But I did, and I just thought it was really good. And moving on to my album.
No, no. No.
I think
silly ass.
it's just a good, well-directed, acted film. Featuring Jack Nicholson. We have Danny DeVito in a he's very young in it and very unrecognizable. I didn't even know it was him when I first saw it. We have
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd's in it. And you definitely know it's him because he has a very distinct voice. Yeah. And we got a bunch of other guys that I don't know their names.
John Turturro, I'm pretty sure, is in it. The guy, he was in an Adam Sandler movie. Wasn't he in Anger Management? He's the guy with like the longer nose and like the dark hair.
Oh, you're talking about Anger Management. Chuck.
Yeah.
He's in there?
I'm pretty sure John Turturro is in one. Hold on, let me look it up. So tell the good folks at home what One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is about.
It's this dude who is Jack Nicholson in the movie, at least, and he is like a criminal, but he's pretending to be. Well, he's implied to be pretending that he's crazy to get out of jail time. So he gets sent to a psychiatric ward for like investigations and to see if he's actually crazy or not. And there's this really crazy nurse who got her own show a couple years ago, which I watched and talked about on a channel, which got like 4 views. That was cool. Nurse Ratchet. And those two just kind of butt heads a bunch. And Jack makes everyone around him go crazy because they are crazy. And it's just a story of him being there, and that's it. That's it. I don't talk that much about this shit, so I'm just gonna say I like it.
Yeah. There's a lot more. I mean, obviously, it's a story. It's a novel. There are a lot of plot points, and I wouldn't even say twists and turns throughout the movie, but you do get to experience it. It's interesting going from the book to the movie because obviously, from Chief's point of view, this Native American gentleman who
doesn't speak.
Yeah, he's silent almost the entire movie, and he in the movie is really just a side character. I feel like when they adapted the book into a movie, they realized they couldn't just have someone who didn't speak. And then Shawshank Redemption came out and you realized, oh, okay, we could just have a narrator. So Chief could have been narrating the whole movie. But instead, they decided to focus on the star power of Jack Nicholson. I don't think The Shining had come out yet.
No, that was 80.
So I'm not sure what Jack Nicholson had been in prior to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but I digress. And they focus on him as the main character, and they focus on him throughout his journey at this psychiatric ward, and watching him go from where he starts to where he ends up and slowly lose his mind over the course of the movie. It's really interesting. And then you start to ask yourself, did he ever, like, I love movies where you have to ask if anything that happened on screen actually happened in real life, or if it's all, like, Beau's Afraid does this, American Psycho does this, where there are just parts of the movie that are not over dramatized, but there's just something about it that makes you question like what's really happening, especially when it comes to characters that are slowly losing their minds. And in the book, I feel like I read the book too, but I can't remember. I can't remember all of the differences between, because it's been a while for both of them.
Like 10 years.
Something like that. I just remember really liking the movie. I watched it at home. I legally downloaded it onto my computer, my family computer, and I watched it late at night. And
oh shit! Actually, keep talking for a minute.
oh sure. And I just looked up that John Turturro is not in fact in this movie, but we do have Brad Dourif, who is the voice of Chucky. He plays Billy Bibbit. We have a guy named Will Redfield, who passed in '76, and I don't know what else he's been up to. A bunch of names that I don't necessarily recognize. But Louise Fletcher plays Nurse Ratched, and she's, as far as I can see on her Wikipedia page, that is mostly what I'm seeing. She also sadly passed away in 2022. But she was
check it out.
You know,
it's a big fucking deluxe edition that I bought at Half Price Books after I watched the movie.
Wow. Looks pretty good.
There it is. It's got a deck of playing cards because they play a lot of cards in the movie.
Yeah, they do.
There's a bunch of like files here, and it has like a bunch of like fucking photos of there's Christopher Lloyd and like other info and shit. And then there's like this other thing that's like talks about I don't know, I haven't seen this in forever, but yeah, it's just like an art book about it, and yeah, it's pretty cool. And there it is, fucking splattered all over the place.
Oh, also let me see, because we talked about
Ew.
What?
Oh shit, I didn't even know that. Because you were talking about, we talked about Rocky.
Yeah.
And how that won Best Picture.
Yeah.
So did this.
That's what I was just gonna look up. Because I was just gonna mention that last episode we discussed potential criteria for what we should deem as classic films, and I thought if it won an award, or an Academy Award, or a Golden Globe, or whatever, if it was recognized by the Academy, that could potentially signify a classic movie. But also, it depends on the time that it was released. Some movies that have won Academy Awards, like I wouldn't consider The King's Speech a classic movie, despite it winning Best Picture in 2012. I don't think that's a very classic movie because no one fucking talks about it, right?
Wasn't like I think it was 2022. It was a movie called Coda that I think won Best Picture.
Yeah.
And it was like an Apple TV movie that nobody fucking saw.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I remember I was working at Apple at the time, and we had computers along the wall that would play stuff off of the Apple TV. It's ads for the Apple TV at the Apple Store. No surprise. And I would end up seeing footage from Coda all over and all the time. So I was more exposed to it than I feel like most. I never saw it. But yeah, man, you could watch any number of videos about award seasons and award shows, and specifically the Academy Awards, and how, I don't know if this is commonly felt throughout, our generation or in this year, in these times, but I feel like award shows they're just popularity contests, and I understand the significance of a popular.
Well, Coda definitely wasn't popular.
Well, it's that, and or basically anything that doesn't really have to do with the quality of the film. Sometimes if it's a really popular movie or song, it'll get nominated like half the animated feature movies that are picked above like foreign animated features. And I remember in 2016, I think Your Name either wasn't nominated or it didn't win, and like the Boss Baby won instead, and people were pissed about that. So it's like, yeah, it's either, you know, there are always people behind the scenes that are pulling strings, and I don't want to get too conspiracy tinfoil hatty on you, but I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone if in real life executives and voters were like being paid by studios to, you know, endorse their movies or whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about, but One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest did win Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress. It was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. It won Best Screenplay adapted from other material. And it was nominated for Best Original Score, Best Film Editing, and Best Cinematography. Every year, there's always one movie that sweeps the Oscars. This year, it was Oppenheimer. In 1976, it was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's really good. So check it out.
There's a shitload of characters, and they're all super unique and memorable, and there's just so many scenes that stick out, like when Jack's guy is trying to watch like a baseball game and he's getting everyone to vote and shit, and like, or when he takes them fishing, or like when he's trying to teach Chief how to play basketball, or when he fucking fights the security guards or some shit. There's just a lot of great scenes, and honestly, Jack Nicholson was so goddamn good at like everything he did. Because I always loved, you know, Anger Management. That's like my favorite Adam Sandler movie. Because it's him and them two together. Fucking kills it in Batman. Killed it in A Few Good Men. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, A Few Good Men. He was really good. And anytime I see a fucking picture... Oh, and he's good
in The Shining.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. Anytime I see a photo of him recently, because some fucking jerk off is like fucking... There's always some jackass like photographing people all the time. I'm just like, wow, what a piece of shit. But yeah, hope you're doing good, man. Hope you're enjoying retirement.
Yeah, thanks for making a bunch of fun movies for us to watch. And thanks for making us, you know, in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. You really make us root for everybody, and we love watching you succeed. And, you know, do what's good for everybody involved. I kind of lost track of the point a little bit there at the end. I just wanted to interject and say something, I guess.
It's all right.
Anyway,
go watch it.
Go watch it. But before that, please continue listening to the episode and watching the episode, because we have more to talk about. Like David's number 4 album of all time. That's a drum roll. Drum roll, please.
Because it's not relevant anymore.
I mean, it's still like the name of the title of the episode still includes One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but what do I know?
Yes, but for clips purposes. My number 4, goodness gracious, 4th favorite album of all time, none other than System of a Down's Toxicity.
Woo!
More metal,
yeah. I mentioned last time, and I'll say it again, but as we get to our top 5 albums, there's a lot of overlap in the stuff that we like, and obviously, System of a Down was a band that we were both pretty into in middle school and high school. I think it took me a little bit longer, obviously, with all metal and a lot of the heavier genre music.
Because you were mostly into Mesmerize.
Yeah, even into college, I really liked Mesmerize. And I feel like that album is very melodically driven, and that is a huge driving force in my attraction to albums and the way that I resonate with albums. Which isn't to say that Toxicity is not very like it doesn't have catchy melodies, because obviously it does. Obviously it has Chop Suey. You have the title track, which is really good. You have Aerials, which is very catchy. It'll pop into my head at least once a month. Bounce is on Toxicity too, yeah. So it's not for a lack of catchy songs, but I do think Surge and the gang, they really focused on making Toxicity a really good all around album.
Yeah. There's 14 damn songs on here. It's the most. Actually, I think After Hours has more tracks, but this one, 14 songs, and I firmly believe that not a single one of them is any worse than the last. I couldn't even sit here and try to tell you my least favorite song on this album, because all fucking 14 of them go so damn hard. Starts out with Prison Song, right? Bum. You get that first note, and then, kind of like blast beating, and then it just has these like crazy verses and shit, and it's really good. And you get like the Needles and Deer Dance. These two songs I think are pretty similar. Like I always like think of them in pairs. Just more good shit. Fucking Forest, X, Multiply, ATWA, fucking Psycho is always one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I really like the bass line in that shit. Goddamn Shimmy. Shimmy is just like the swingy song. Jet Pilot, never understood the lyrics except the Jet Pilot thing. Got fucking Science is fucking really good. As you mentioned, the title track. It's like one of the funnest drum songs of all time. Chop Suey is the single biggest metal song of all time, I'm pretty sure. Aerials, as you mentioned, used to be my favorite System songs for a very long time. Now it's Holy Mountains because that's just really good. But yeah, Aerials is fucking awesome. Goddamn. I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot of fucking songs.
There's a lot of really good songs.
There's a lot of songs.
Yeah, I'm trying to see...
I always see these like videos on YouTube where someone like drums along to a full album in one take. Yeah. And if I was to do that, I would do it to Toxicity. Because I have like 90% of this thing mesmerized. I have 90% of it mesmerized.
That's good.
Because John D. I don't know. They have crazy names. I don't really know how to say it, but
John Dolmayan.
Yeah. Drummer John does really good work on here. It's produced by Rick Rubin. Yeah. And it sounds really good. I really like how like the overall like mixing on this album is pretty damn good. Just the boys just kill it. It's really good. Realistically, it's at number 4 just because it's a perfect album in my eyes. Yeah. And I can jam any song on here anytime, any given hour of the day.
It's crazy to think that this album is 22 years old now.
Yeah, 2001.
And I, obviously being a semi-sheltered, suburban kid who didn't really listen to anything besides Nickelback and country music, I was very scared of System of a Down when I was first introduced to them. And over time, I just was exposed to more and more music, and coming back to System always reminds me how eclectic their style is. Yeah, I don't think there's any other artist or any other band that has not only played and combined all of these different styles of music that System of a Down has, because obviously you have metal, you have new metal, you have Middle Eastern influences, obviously, because they're all like I think Armenian.
Very, very political record. Yeah. And it's funny, you mentioned new metal, and much like After Hours before, this is the only album in new metal that I've heard that I don't think is a total piece of shit, because new metal sucks ass, but System does it so well that it just kind of transcends it.
Yeah. There's also no other band that has been able to play like this and has achieved the level of widespread acclaim and success, which obviously I understand that doesn't and shouldn't determine if you enjoy an artist or not is how successful they are. But it really does go to show that System of a Down, they were so ahead of their time when they put out this record in particular that it sort of shaped the landscape of like rock radio and like metal radio moving forward, and just so many artists that have since become inspired by System of a Down. It's crazy. And between Serge's lyrics and the choices that he makes as a singer are very interesting. The chunkiness of Darren's guitar and like the different solos and the oh man, the rhythm section. I am forgetting drummer John and bass player whose name
Shavo.
Shavo?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Shavo Obadiah. I don't know. He's something. Oh, I don't know. Like I said, they have crazy names.
But yeah, dude, there's just no one that does it like System. And I remember when we got into them, they had already broken up, I feel like, or they were on the verge of breaking up.
Yeah, they just kind of, I don't know. I don't even know what really happened to them. They just kind of just stopped or something.
Yeah. They went on hiatus for sure. And it's one of those things where as musicians, I mean, I understand burnout. I mean, any job you get burnout, but especially as a touring band who's always recording and always writing and always going on the road and sacrificing months of their life to drive in a van or fly from plane to plane, airport to airport, playing shows. I mean, I get it. I get wanting to take a break, but obviously since then, Serge has recorded a couple of solo albums. I know they've come back and they've done shows. They've reunited. They haven't recorded a new album yet since Hypnotize or Mesmerize.
Well, they did the Protect the Land EP a couple years ago.
Oh,
but
I didn't know
that was
that.
it. You ever hear those? Have you not heard like the new System songs?
No, maybe. I don't know. No. I didn't. So, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, dude. I feel like, so what would you say? Obviously, you mentioned that this was a perfect album. But out of all of their discography, you've said this about Foo Fighters too, where sometimes there are albums that are your favorite, and then there are albums that you recognize a lot of other people enjoy. This album, would you say, kind of combines those two mindsets?
No, this is easily the best one.
Yeah.
Like, hands down. This is their fucking opus.
Yeah. It's really good. It's really good. So if you have never listened to nu metal or, metal... I don't even know. I feel like it's even unfair calling this nu metal because it's kind of its own thing. If you've heard of System of a Down and you haven't checked them out,
because nu metal, it's like rapping, right? Like
not necessarily.
Fucking shitty ass Linkin Park, where they like rap in the songs.
I think that's
like Limp Bizkit, like.
Yeah, but I also feel like Korn is considered nu metal. Parts of Slipknot's discography are considered nu metal. I think it's not necessarily rapping, but I feel like it's the production and the use of like electronic instruments sometimes too.
Like ditching solos and shit.
Yeah. I feel like it was just used as a blanket term to describe that movement in alternative metal in like the early 2000s and like the late 90s. Because I think nu metal doesn't really exist anymore. I feel like nu metal is kind of split off into a bunch of different other genres.
Yeah, 'cause I know there's definitely no electronic shit on this album.
No, but there's also no rapping. So
I mean, yeah, he doesn't. Well, Serge doesn't rap, but like, there's definitely sections where he's kind of going ape shit.
Yeah. All right. Nu metal is a subgenre of alternative metal that combines elements of heavy metal music with elements of other music genres, such as hip hop, alternative rock, funk, industrial, and grunge. rarely features guitar solos or other displays of musical technique. The genre is heavily syncopated and based on guitar riffs. Also, a lot of the guitars are tuned down to produce a heavier sound. DJs are occasionally featured in nu metal to provide instrumentation such as sampling, scratching, whatever. So basically,
so they're barely nu metal.
It's metal combined with another genre, essentially. So sometimes it's rap, sometimes it's hip hop, sometimes it's funk, sometimes it's like not folk, but I don't know, man.
So
it's unfair to label them as just one thing. Listen to not Chop Suey.
You can listen to it.
You can listen to Chop Suey.
Yeah, just go ahead.
Listen to Toxicity though, and form your own opinion. And hopefully, if you do like it, be sure to check out some of their other stuff because they have a very eclectic discography and music.
And it's only 5, so it's not even that much.
No. So, anyway, I'm glad you picked something again that both of us could kind of touch on because, we're getting into a lot of middle school, high school stuff.
Yeah.
For us.
Well, yeah. Well, next is like college.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like you were playing this before college.
Oh, no. Or, I don't know. Well, we'll get to that later. But anyway.
Okay.
Today, all right, now we're going to move on to games, I suppose.
Yeah.
And
why not?
This is going very far back to the first DS game that I ever got.
Mm-hmm.
Which was Super Mario 64 DS. The superior version that I will fight anyone over.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, I will take 3 extra characters and 30 new stars over a shitty ass analog stick any day of the week.
Here's the thing. I recently played Super Mario 64. Granted, it was the Switch port on the virtual console or on the whatever you want to call it. I understand that for the time it was a revolutionary game and being able to use the third person camera was huge. But dude, you try playing that shit now after playing Super Mario Odyssey, and it's just, as someone who didn't grow up playing Super Mario 64, that shit's rough, dude. It's like tank controls in Resident Evil. It's like, if you're just so used to control that is objectively better, I will go out on a limb and say that Super Mario 64's control, it makes the game not as fun for me because half the time I'm trying to land on a... Anyway, I'm getting too far ahead of myself. But we will fight you if you try to tell us
fight you.
that the DS version is
fuck out of here with that original shit
to the original 64
fuck out of here, boy.
So Super Mario 64 DS, tell us about it.
It was, like I said, the first DS game I got. I remember going to the store and I wanted to buy Nintendogs.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, why? I was like, because my friend has it.
Yeah.
And he was like, you should get something else. So I got Mario. And yeah, forever thankful for that. Yeah, everyone knows Super Mario 64. This was the remake on the DS where they added Yoshi, Luigi, and Wario as playable characters.
Yep. As
mentioned, there's 30 more stars, so there's 150 in this game as opposed to the 120. It looks better. Might not control better, but...
I was going to say, for DS standards, I mean, at the time, we had a D-pad, a directional pad.
Yeah. Directional pad. Who calls it directional pad?
Yeah. Only me. Only me, because now every game has fucking analog sticks.
Yeah.
Every game system does. The only time I ever use the D-pad in games anymore is like in Persona 3 when you open up your phone, because it's like a flip phone because it takes place in 2003 or whatever. You can only control who like you text with like the D-pad. So aside from niche niche controls like that. Trying to play a 3D Mario game with just a D-pad. I mean, I feel like
I managed it. I got all
Yeah.
150 stars
oh damn.
as like a 10-year-old. So quit bitching. It's completely doable.
I was just bitching before. Okay, I'm not saying that Mario DS has better controls than Mario 64. I'm just saying I think I'm running into a little snag in my argument here. You know what? If you like Super Mario 64, that's cool. That's cool. Because Mario 64 DS also has not super great controls, but you know, it's I still think it's a good game.
Yeah. What else is to say? It's just like, you know, you go around these cool hub worlds and you get the stars, you do the missions. I even remember like the day, because the way you unlock the character, you start as Yoshi in this version, and you have to. All the characters are locked behind these doors, which you have to do a boss. You have to fight like a mini boss for each one of them to unlock them. So for Mario, you got to fight the King Goomba.
Yeah.
Goomboss, I think he's called.
Ah.
Luigi, you got to fight King Boo, obviously. Wario is like this icicle guy. But I still remember it was in this room, like around where Nick is sitting, because that's where my bed was, and I was laying. It was nighttime. I was playing under the covers, and when I first found the Luigi painting, I almost shat myself because I was looking for him for so long because he was my favorite. And yeah, I just vividly remember a lot of this game, playing it for the first time, and it was just a great time. It's kind of like you said, like these games that you grew up with, but objectively there's better versions of it now.
Yeah.
Like Odyssey is obviously way better than this game, but like, man, I played the absolute piss out of 64 DS.
No,
and it's one of the few games where I still have my very first like copy of. I never got rid of it.
No.
So it's like super old. Like the instruction manual is like all like crusty now.
Yeah.
Cause like I got rid of so many games. Pretty much everything. Almost every game I used to have, like all my Pokemon games, all that shit is gone.
Yeah.
But this one I still have from way back in the day. It's like the only game I have back from those days.
Now I feel a little bad. How you know what? We got off to the wrong foot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody. You know, I have so many games on my list that there are better versions of. I'm glad that we get to share that, you know. And I think I'm just jealous of people that got to play Mario games when they were kids. The only Mario game I had was on Game Boy Advance, and it was a port of Super Mario 2, but I did not know it was a port of the second Mario Brothers game. It also had the original Mario Brothers game on it, but I didn't have any home Nintendo consoles. I didn't get to play Super Mario Sunshine. I didn't get to play Pokemon Coliseum or XD. I didn't have a GameCube. I didn't have a Wii. So when it came to Mario games, I only got to play them on DS. And you know, I think that's why I'm upset whenever people mention Super Mario 64 being really good. Because I'm like, no, it's not. I tried playing it once, and it controlled like dog shit, and I was bad at it, and it made me feel bad. You know, I think maybe I can put that behind me and grow up and acknowledge that, you know, there are people out there that like that game. There are people out there that like the DS port. All that matters, though, is that we acknowledge that when it comes to Mario versus Sonic, Mario games have always been better than Sonic games. Let's just talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Have you played the Genesis
OG
Sonic
games blow dick, dude.
They're not good.
They're fun for like the first two stages, and then it just gets stupid.
Because they stop making you go fast. That's the whole point of Sonic the Hedgehog, is to go fast, and then you try to go fast, and then you hit an enemy that you didn't see and lose 100 rings, and then you have to stop because you get stuck by a spring and you have to jump on that. And then there are water levels. Who wanted water levels in a Sonic game? Not me.
Just like Jakey says, right?
Yeah.
Have you played Sonic 2? Where the most of the fun is like high speed just to be ruined by some purple water?
Yeah.
What a piece of shit. Chemical plant.
As long as we acknowledge that Mario has always been... Even Mario's worst games, I feel like, are better than Sonic's best games. I'm going to say it.
I mean, besides like, the stupid shit like Mario's Missing
like
Hotel Mario. I mean, I don't even know what is the worst Mario game.
I mean, some people say that Sunshine doesn't control very well. Other people don't jump on the Odyssey hype train, but I've never once...
Y'all are just stupid.
Sorry about him, but he's right. Yeah, I just think, Mario came out first and everyone else since just tried to copy what he was doing.
Granted, I haven't played nearly as many because there's just a shitload.
There's a lot of Mario games.
But
I mean, we played a lot of the party games. I know that's different, but that's also Mario.
Oh my god, the mini games, dude! The mini games on Mario 64 DS. Holy fucking shit! Oh my god, I played the hell out of those too, man. Those were so damn fun. You had like the Luigi section was all just gambling, nothing but gambling games like poker, like Go Fish or like Texas Hold'em or whatever the hell.
Sure.
Yoshi had all like the weird games, like the one where you have to find, like in the dark, you have to find their like picture, or like the stupid ass memory thing. And then Mario had like that cool one where you have to like draw the like the trampolines for the little Marios to bounce on top of the thing. Wario had some cool ones where you have to like shoot the bomb-ombs at the things coming down. Dude, there were so many good mini games. There were so many good mini games in that game. That is the third big ass reason why this one shits all over the shitty ass original. Fuck Super Mario 64.
Yeah, fuck Super Mario 64.
All about that
We're
DS,
back where
son.
we started.
All
We're
about that
right
DS,
back where
son.
we started. Fuck you guys.
Are you shitting me? Those 30 mini games, 3 new characters, 30 fucking stars. Fuck the original. And then there's the verses, which I never really did.
Yeah.
Because you have to like play with someone else.
Right, and we didn't have friends growing up.
So
So
there wasn't much there, but yeah. Fuck, man. I totally forgot the minigames. That's crazy.
That is crazy. Yeah, I guess growing up, when we grew up, was pretty awesome, actually. What were we? We had the best games. We had the best movies. We had the best music coming out. And all Mario games had minigames.
Good ass minigames.
It's kind of the best thing ever, so... I'm sorry I said fuck you guys. That was inappropriate. That was I can't believe it. We got off to another wrong foot. That's both feet. That's both feet. I cannot make another impression.
Fucking crippled ass.
I can't make I can't make any other impression. I've used up my first and second impressions. So I guess the only impression that I got left is well, I'm sure you can tell what my last impression is. It's pretty obvious.
And with that, it's
pretty
gonna
good.
do it for episode 41.
No, I'm in the middle of something. I'm in
Too
the middle of
bad
doing
we
my
didn't
impression.
get into cars. Too bad we never grew up on Mario games podcast.
I mean, I guess.
I did.
You did.
It was just this one.
It
was really just this one.
It was just the one. And
Yeah.
Mario Kart DS.
And
also-
fuck, dude, Mario Kart DS.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
also.
shit.
I've been doing Kermit this whole time.
That's another one. Where like, yeah, 8's better, but dude, DS, my favorite one.
But I was just talking to some people about the DS. What do they call it? Where one person had the cartridge and then other people
Download play.
Download play, dude. That was back when video games companies didn't give as much of a shit about milking all of the money out of gamers that they could.
Yeah, the worst thing is that you could only play as Shy Guy.
Yeah,
But like, who gives a shit?
You still get to play Mario.
That was the
Kart.
only like that was the only way you could play a Shy Guy. Actually, you couldn't play him like loading up the game.
Yeah.
You had to be like the download play from someone else.
Dude, so many mornings on the bus, I forget which person had Mario. I think we all got it eventually.
I think it was me.
It must have been you. But we just had 15 minutes on the bus before school, and we would just race a shit ton of times. And then there was the one race where it was like a battle, and you were just throwing shells at each other, and you had balloons.
Balloon battle. Yep.
Dude, Mario's pretty fucking great. Mario's pretty cool, I guess. So, anyway, if you're the one person on the planet listening to this podcast that hasn't played a Mario game, do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor and buy a Nintendo DS for $200 and then find Mario 64 DS and play that. Do yourself a favor. And while you're at it, listen to System of a Down. I can't think of any better pairing than Super Mario Brothers and System of a Down. Well,
yeah, and every time he says bounce, pogo, 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 you can just like hit the R button to like do a little hop.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
In Mario Kart.
Oh right, yeah, Mario Kart. Or you can't jump in rhythm because he takes too long to jump.
He does, yeah, all of them.
Maybe except when he just says bounce, bounce, pogo, 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 bounce,
yeah,
jump. You can do that. That's pretty cool.
That.
And then just have this movie on in the background, and it's pretty good. Even though I don't know, you can't do music and movies at the same time. I don't know. Maybe you can. Maybe put subtitles on and just have it on mute.
Yeah, that's true.
Do all three at the same time. No problem.
Yeah, that's the original fucking Family Guy clip on TikTok. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
Yeah, where people try to get you to pay attention to like a shitty ass like game that they're trying to advertise, and then on top they have a clip of Family Guy.
Yeah.
That's the original. That's the just. Anyway,
actual dumb fucks. Man.
We gotta. It's brain rot, dude. We're gonna go rot our brains. Actually, so for the Too Bad We Didn't Get Into Cars podcast, my name is Nick Scarpinato,
and I am the Volkswagen electric vehicle number 4.
Not quite.
That is my name.
Person.
That is my name. I sexually identify as a Volkswagen electric car 4.
Ooh.
And you will check your privilege. Siscum.
And okay. And thank you, lovely passengers, for hanging out with us. Appreciate it. See you in the next one.
Say goodbye to the wall and couch.
Oh yeah, that's right. No more couch. No more wall.
Adios.
No more scary monster just off camera behind the screen.
Adios, kurwa mać.